My husband's first wife wasn't dead. She called the house on a Sunday. By the time he got home from the grocery store, I'd already spoken to her for 20 minutes. Marcus and I have been married 5 years. He told me about Diane once. Late 20s, car accident, 2016. He said it quietly and moved on, and I let him. No photos, no box of her things. He said looking back was something he'd taught himself not to do. I thought that meant he'd made peace with it. I built 5 years on top of that without asking a single question. That was my part in all of this. He walked in with 2 bags of groceries, and I was standing in the kitchen. I said Diane called. He set the bags on the counter and didn't move. I told him we'd talked for 20 minutes. He asked how she'd gotten the number. That was the first thing out of his mouth. Not who are you talking about? Not that's impossible. Just how she'd gotten the number. He set down a jar he was still holding, then said her name quietly. Diane. He said she wasn't stable, that she'd made his life difficult for years after the marriage ended. I asked if she was dead. He said no. I asked why he'd told me she was. He said it was easier. I asked easier for who. He said he didn't want to explain her, that cutting her out completely meant explaining her in a way he wasn't ready to do. I asked when he planned to be ready. He looked at the floor, and I waited. I found the marriage license online the following morning. Their names in the county registry. Married 2012, divorced 2015. Clean. I found a Facebook profile she'd kept mostly private. 1 public photo. Her at a beach, smiling. She looked steady, grounded. Not what the word unstable had made me imagine. I screenshot the divorce date and sent it to myself. Marcus was downstairs making breakfast like it was any other morning. I called her from my car on Wednesday. She picked up like she'd been expecting it. We met at a coffee shop near her apartment. She was already there. Dark coat, hands around a mug. She said she wasn't there to destroy anything, that she'd spent years deciding whether to call at all. Said she needed me to understand a few things about Marcus before I decided what to do. I asked her to start with the one that mattered most. He'd done it before. A woman he'd dated before Diane had tracked her down in 2018, found Diane's name through a mutual contact. The woman said Marcus told her Diane had died in a hit and run in 2011. They'd dated in 2013, 2 years after he'd said she died. Diane had kept the voicemail all that time. She pressed play right there at the table. I sat listening to a stranger say her own name like she was proving to someone that she was real. Marcus was on the couch when I got home. I sat across from him and said I know about the woman before Diane, that you told her the same thing. He didn't speak. I said there's a pattern here with your name on it. He said he'd been through things I didn't understand, that erasing people was the only way he knew how to move forward. I thought about that word. Erasing. About who he'd been erasing. About what they'd done to deserve it. Marcus said he wanted to fix it. Therapy, time, whatever I needed. I sat at the table and thought about fixing a lie that specific. He'd needed her to not exist so completely that he'd told 2 women she was dead. That wasn't a mistake. That was architecture. I asked if he'd thought about whether there was a third. He said what? I said it again. He looked at the table a long time, and that look told me everything I needed. Marcus moved out in October. I've talked to Diane twice since. She checked in both times. I didn't expect to find that steadying, but I did. I took our wedding photo down last week. Haven't decided what to do with it. I keep thinking about the word architecture. How long it takes to build something and how fast it comes down.